Coming up next on the Commissioner's Report, the Winter Haven's Women's Hospital has a new breast and imaging center, and the Winter Haven Hospital is set to begin construction on a $51 million renovation of their emergency room. We're taking this show to the hospital to get all the details from Commissioner Todd Dantzler and the hospital president, Steve Nierman. And the Polk County Tax Collector's Office is also staying very busy with services designed to make your life easier, at least when it comes to dealing with license renewals, paying property taxes, and so much more. Joe Tedder, our tax collector, will be here to give us an update. It's all straight ahead on the September edition of the Commissioner's Report.
Hi, this is Joe Tedder, your tax collector for Polk County. We all have to pay taxes, but you don't always have to visit our office for renewals or payments. There is an easier way. Check out clickorstick.com and learn how you can save time and a trip by paying online or by mail. At clickorstick.com, we provide all you need to know to conveniently renew your vehicle registration and driver's license, pay property or business taxes, and more. We even have tips to save you money. So don't wait. Go to clickorstick.com and find out how easy it can be. Clickorstick.com. Pay online or by mail.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition. We call this our September edition of the Commissioner's Report. I'm Mike Moore. Thanks for tuning us in this month. Joe Tedder is here. He's the tax collector for Polk County. And Joe, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Mike. I'm glad to be here.
You have been very busy, and there's a lot of things going on in your office, and hopefully we'll touch base on some of them. There's so much going on there.
Yes.
But before we do all that, Joe, I want to just kind of take back a little bit. There may be some people who are new to Polk County, and they've heard of you as the Polk tax collector, but they don't know that much about you. I know you weren't born in Polk County, but you basically lived here all your life.
Yes, our family moved here when I was 2. So in 1964, so now everybody can figure out how old I am. But I've been here my whole life and raised my son, and my wife and I raised our son together here in Lakeland. And really, we love this community, love Polk County. Went to the public schools, Lakeland High School, and actually went to Florida State to study music for a while.
Really?
Thought I wanted to be a professional musician, and realized that probably wasn't the life that I wanted, and I probably wasn't good enough to do it, to be honest with you. So I came back here and got a accounting degree at Florida Southern, and was fortunate by the people of Lakeland to get elected to represent them in the Florida legislature, and did that for 2 terms, 4 years. And then the position of tax collector for Polk County came up, and I ran for that, and was fortunate that the citizens entrusted me with that great duty. And I've been doing it since 1997, and I truly love it.
Well, the citizens have been singing your tunes here, because obviously you've been doing a great job for them. Recently, the office, I know we think it's you, but you give the credit back to the office, received some great recognition from the state, this Sterling Award. Tell me a little bit about that, because we're going to look at a video here in just a second that kind of explains it.
Well, the Governor Sterling Award is an award given out to companies, for-profit, not-for-profit, and governmental agencies that started out mostly for-profit companies that identify those companies as benchmarks. In other words, if you want to run a good organization, you should look to these companies and figure out the best way to do that. And our organization has been working on for many years on constant improvement, continual improvement. And we saw this as an opportunity for us to kind of see how our systems match up against the best that exist in companies across this country. And so we applied for the Governor Sterling Award, and we're fortunate to get recognized this past year. As you said, it is a testament to the wonderful people and the hard work that the citizens entrusted in us, but the hard work of our staff and what they do every single day.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, let's take a quick look at this video, which really, in a nutshell, kind of explains some of the things Joe's talking about, all these things and practices they were doing in order to get this Sterling Governor's Award.
Polk County, located in the center of the Sunshine State, has long been known for its successful citrus and phosphate industries, a breathtaking landmark that towers above the rest, and of course, our beautiful lakes. But today, Polk County also looks like this. Polk County sits right in the middle of a super region, representing the 10th largest economy in the United States. And the Polk County Tax Collector's Office is at the heart of it all. And our vision statement, Changing People's Perception of Government, says it all. It's a commitment local leaders appreciate. As a constitutional officer, the tax collector provides state services at the local level.
Thank you for calling Polk County Tax Collector. This is Holly speaking. How may I help you?
The tax collector also provides contracted payment processing services. Over the past 3 years, the tax collector's office has nearly doubled its duties by adding driver's license services throughout Polk County. With those changes, our facilities now process over $1 billion annually. Yet, during this time of unprecedented transition, we continue to maintain high customer engagement and satisfaction scores from the people that we serve every day. Leadership in our office extends beyond the workday. The innovative Kids Tag Art program, created by our office, is now being duplicated by 8 other tax collectors across the state and has been recognized as a best practice by the Governor Sterling Council. The program promotes artistic expression, innovation, and creativity by having 5th grade students design their own vanity license plates. The students learn how to express themselves through art while producing a product they actually can market and sell. Over 90% of all 5th graders in public and private schools throughout Polk County participate, generating more than $250,000 for arts in the classroom.
As an art teacher, my students and I have always enjoyed participating in the Polk County Kids Tag Art program. This program nurtures innovative thinking, which benefits us all.
On behalf of the 205 staff and the over 650,000 citizens of Polk County, I'd like to thank the Governor and the Sterling Council for this wonderful recognition. I'm very proud of the exceptional work of the staff of the Tax Collector's Office and their commitment to our vision, changing people's perception of government. These simple concepts serve as a foundation on how we approach our customers, engage our staff, plan, and measure. The Sterling journey has brought our office to this point in time, but our journey continues every single day. Thank you.
And that's just, again, a small example of some of the things that they do in your office, Joe. And again, I know you say this in the video, and I'll let you say it again. You couldn't do all that without the great staff you have.
Yes, they're wonderful, and they work very hard, and we are truly, they're as invested in trying to do a great job for the citizens as I am, and that's why they're really a pleasure to be around every day.
I want to touch on something that we saw in the video, Kids Tag Art, which is just, it's amazing, and it really is beginning to, I think in the video the number is now incorrect. We're continuing to add the number of counties involved.
Yes. This is a program that our office created, and it started by us going to the elementary schools and to teach to 5th graders or talk to 5th graders. And whenever a tax collector's office is about to show up at a 5th grade classroom, you can imagine how hard it is for us to make our job interesting to a bunch of elementary school. So we would take tags with us and we would show them all these tags, and then they would write thank you letters back to us, and they would design their own little tags. So we came up with an idea, how could we do this to allow children in 5th grade to show their creativity, to show their abilities to express themselves through art, and then actually create a product that can be sold. And that program now, over $250,000 has been raised for the arts program just here in Polk County through that program. We have wonderful sponsors. The school board is obviously a major sponsor, but Southern Homes of Polk County, Inc. is really the big financial sponsor. We also have Mid-Florida, Legoland, Alpha Graphics, Douglas Screen Printers, the Polk Museum of Art, a number of different entities.
Yeah, it's great when you get everybody on board. It really can make it a big success. All right, we could talk about that for the rest of the program, but we're going to move on because there's a lot to talk about. And we were talking about how you've been busy in your offices, I don't know, a few years ago when you first took over the handling of the driver licenses to make things easier on us, the citizens.
Yes, hopefully. The legislature passed a law that said all tax collectors across the state needed to take over or required to take over driver's license services. If you can imagine taking on a new task like that, it involved a tremendous amount of planning, tremendous amount of training, additional staff, additional resources. All of our buildings were outdated. It really doubled the amount of people that we see. Just in the Lakeland office alone, to give you an idea, we probably see 1,200 to 1,400 people a day actually walk into that Lakeland office.
A day?
A day.
Wow.
And probably about 700 in our Northridge office and about 500 to 600 in the Lake Wells. So we see a tremendous amount of people. But the challenge we're having is before we did driver's license, our goal was nobody should have to wait in our office more than 10 minutes. And we met that goal probably 98% of the time. When we took on this new product that is a much lengthier product, that requires a lot more and a lot more people coming in, we have seen our wait times dwindle. Dwindle meaning getting longer. So dwindle is probably not the right word. Our wait times have increased dramatically, which is a real concern because our survey results, when we survey customers, wait times is a big driver of customer service. So we've been trying to figure out ways to get those wait times down. And we've really approached it 3 ways. One, we have hired more staff. We've gone from probably 130 to almost 200 staff in about the past 5 years. A huge growth in that area. Another thing we do is we continue to look at our processes to figure out if there's things we can do to streamline processes to speed up transactions. And that is doing a great job, but we're just cutting seconds off. I mean, we're actually down to looking at seconds. And so in our processes, it's making improvements, but not big improvements. Our third approach is we really have got to figure out how to control the intake. In essence, the number of people that are coming in. And so one of the things that we've kicked off in the past few days, and people will be seeing it for the next 2 years, you've seen billboards or maybe bus wraps, things in your mail, things on the ledger, or now hopefully in PGTV.
That's right.
And it's called clickorstick.com. And the idea is we've got to heighten the awareness of our citizens that there are a number of things you can do without coming into our office. And we need to make sure if you can do things through the mail, which is or let me say first the email, or online, which is the click.
That's the click.
And then the mail, a stamp, stick, clickorstick.com. If we can get those people that can do things those ways, not to come in the office, that frees up our staff to be able to take care of the people that have to come into the office. So this clickorstick.com campaign is a big part to try to control the intake. Another thing we're doing to try to control the intake is we're having to go, and it wasn't what we wanted to do, but it's just the reality. I can't continue to spend taxpayers' money. The reality is we have to plan better in getting people when they come in us. So when it comes to a driving test, your 16-year-old that's getting ready to take a driving test, or a 19-year-old, or somebody moving here, or an elderly person that's going to have to take a driver's test, they're now, starting September 14th, they're going to have an appointment. Okay. They're going to have gone online and scheduled an appointment. That's another way we can control the intake.
Right.
Those people who do driving tests is just a small segment, but they're a very lengthy part of the transaction. So we're doing that as well. Another way we're trying to control intake is we're going to start doing driver's license services out of Bartow, which we haven't done before, to try to alleviate and spread the people around.
So that would be all 4 of your offices would be able to do that, right?
Yes, but in Bartow, and the reason we had not planned on doing it in Bartow is we really don't have the parking, and the facility is not sized to be able to handle driver's license. So in Bartow, starting around October, we will be doing driver's license services, but to do any services in Bartow, you have to have an appointment.
Okay.
You can't just walk in the door. So between the clickorstick.com, which we hope will cause people to not come in, do their things online or through the mail, getting appointments for driving tests throughout the county, and appointments in Bartow for driving tests or any driver's license services, we hope that will allow us to control and better get a handle on the people that are coming in so we can serve the ones that have to be there.
Yeah. It's amazing because we're literally almost out of time.
Yes.
It shows you he knows how to use time down to the second. That's, we want you to have to come in and have a quick time, but if you can stay at home and click it or put a stamp on it and stick it, why not? Makes it easier, save some gas, and stay at home and enjoy the day. Joe,
Great.
It goes by very quickly, but I appreciate this, and we want to get the word out here on the Click or Stick campaign, clickorstick.com. Here on PGTV. But thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's always
Glad
a
to be
pleasure
here.
working with you and your great staff.
Thanks.
All right, when we come back after this short break, we're going to head to the hospital. No, we're not injured. We want to find out what's going on with the Winter Haven Hospital and the Winter Haven Women's Hospital. A lot of changes and improvements on the way, so we'll be right back.
That's my mommy.
That's my daughter.
That's my dad.
In this journey, we all have a role. Every life counts on you knowing yours.
That's my mommy.
In this journey, we all have a role. Every life counts on you knowing yours.
Huntington!
Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there. Oh,
Where's that bear?
That's my daughter.
In this journey, we all have a role. Every life counts on you knowing yours.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Commissioner's Report. I'm Mike Moore. Thanks for joining us. We are here, obviously, out of the studio. We've moved to Winter Haven here at the Winter Haven Hospital, the Women's Hospital specifically, and we're going to talk more about all of that in detail. Steve Nierman is the president of the Winter Haven Hospital here with the BayCare Health System. I'll make sure I get that correct. Thanks for having us here, first of all. I really appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you inviting us. We're happy to be here.
And Commissioner Todd Dantzler, of course, is here, as this is right in the middle of your district, but this is really all about Polk County. Commissioner, I thank you for being here as well.
Thank you, Larry.
I want to appreciate the fact that he's also part of your board as well. We think of him as the Board of County Commissioners, but he's also part of the hospital board.
He is a part of the hospital board and has been for quite some time. And there's a history there. His father was on the hospital board as well. So we're happy to have him. He's a strong member of our board.
You know, Commissioner, let me just ask you first of all, when we think about hospitals, you have to have a hospital. That's a big part of any community. I know there, Polk County, it's very important, and when you look at the Winter Haven Hospital, that has a history that goes back into the 20s.
Right.
How important has it for this particular hospital through the years for the Polk County residents?
This hospital has delivered quality health care to the east side of the county since the early 20s, I guess. I was born at Winter Haven Hospital, and where our executive offices are now. I had my tonsils taken out there. I was just commenting to Sid this morning as we were going upstairs together. And it creates jobs, but it creates health care, and it creates health. And any community that happens to have a hospital is lucky. And we are a community hospital, not for profit, so we take anybody and everybody. And I think that's important, especially for our demographics and our makeup.
Right, when you consider the people out there that may have no insurance or underinsured, that's very important. It's funny, you mentioned being born. If you were born today, you wouldn't be here obviously in this show, but if you're born today, you would be born in this facility. This is where all the births are taken about. Tell us about this facility here, the Winter Haven Women's Hospital.
Well, Winter Haven Hospital has two hospitals, or two campuses, and this is the Women's Hospital for women's services, and then the main larger campus is just a mile and a half up the street in Winter Haven. We're happy to have a women's hospital. It's one of very few women's hospitals in the state. and it's just focused on women's health. So we deliver babies at this hospital, there's women's surgery, and there's women's imaging services as well. So it's very focused on women's health.
Now, this building and the facility has been here for almost 30 years, I believe, back into the 80s. So it's not like you're new, but you are having a open house coming up at the end of this month. I know for the people that want to tour the facility, I guess the renovations and everything that's new here.
Well, there's been significant renovations, and the building's been around for decades, and the Board of Trustees approved a strategic plan to really invest in the hospital, both from a construction aesthetic standpoint, but also from a technology standpoint and the services that we're offering women. So that's culminated in the open house coming up in September, and we'll be inviting the community to come in and just check it out.
Now, recently you had a ribbon cutting, not for all the Women's Center, but more for the specific, I guess, the breast center?
Women's Breast and Imaging Center, and we're excited because not only is it a dedicated imaging center just for women, but we've also brought a new technology to the area, which is called three-dimensional mammography. And technically, tomosynthesis is the term, but when you incorporate three-dimensional technology into breast imaging, the radiologists are able to better identify cancerous tumors in women. And so that's exciting. And the Winter Haven Hospital Foundation raised the money with the Lewis Family Cancer Foundation to provide that technology to the hospital in our community.
Yeah, anytime you can get more advanced screening, a head start, so to speak, of any sort of cancer there, that's always increases the chances of successful recovery. Now, the other campus you mentioned about 1.5 miles north from here, which is the main hospital. Now, you do just about everything that normally goes on there. You have an emergency room. I understand a major renovation is getting ready to take place, or is maybe just underway already? Or
well, it's underway. However, the latter part of the planning stages, the construction will be taking place by the end of this year. We're very excited. The emergency room is so important to any community in the hospital because it's 24 hours a day access to quality health care. When we looked at it a few years ago, the Board of Trustees weighed in, and it didn't have the capacity to meet the needs of the community, and a growing community at that. Because we do cover all of eastern Polk County for a lot of healthcare services. So the new plan is to double the size. And so that required a new building with a new emergency department with twice as many exam rooms and some upgrades to technology and that type of thing. We're very excited. It's a $50 million project, and so it's a little protracted, but 2 years from now, we hope to be announcing the opening of our new emergency center.
And hopefully we'll be here as well 2.5 years from now. Commissioner, when you think about Winter Haven, I was just thinking, the Legoland facility, the new Legoland Hotel. We recently talked about all the redevelopment that's going on in the downtown area.
Right.
Here's the hospital, so important to have health care, and now a new emergency room facility. It seems like Winter Haven, not just Winter Haven, Polk County, but Winter Haven really is moving forward into the 21st century.
There's been a tremendous rebirth of Winter Haven in the last few years, and the hospital is very cliche. They're in the heart of it. They make it work. They are the largest employer. They are typically a higher end paying employee type position. So the economic impact that the hospital has on Winter Haven, the economic impact it has on the county is phenomenal, because not every doctor or nurse live in Winter Haven. Some live in Lakeland, some live in Plant City, some live in Orlando. I mean, the tentacles are far reaching, and we're blessed to have the hospital here. We're blessed to have the downtown redevelopment. We're blessed to have Legoland and the economic benefit that they brought. So there's a lot of good things going on in Winter Haven and the east side of the county and in the entire county. Right. You look around at what's going on in the economy, and I would much rather be in Polk County than many other counties in the state of Florida. We've got infrastructure set up so that we're ready to handle growth when it happens again, and I'm looking forward to being a part of that.
Let me ask you about some of the other things about the hospital. We were talking beforehand, and some of the offers, things that you do there in the hospital. Smaller hospitals sometimes don't offer even things like open heart surgery. I mean, that's something that you do here, and that's kind of unusual, I guess, isn't it?
Open heart surgery, a full comprehensive cancer program. It's very atypical for a city this size, but as I alluded to before, Polk County is largely rural on the eastern part, so we are covering most of the eastern half of Polk County. So those services are absolutely critical for patients that that do need open heart surgery, and that program in and of itself has national recognition from quality boards about their outcomes, and so we're very proud of that. Radiation therapy, chemotherapy, all those technologies in our Cassidy Cancer Center as well.
And another part of community health is mental health. And I was being told earlier, I didn't realize this, almost 30 years ago, the Winter Haven Hospital was involved, really one of the leading hospitals in the nation to get involved almost 30 years ago. You think about 30 years ago, we weren't talking about mental health, and this hospital was involved with that early on.
And we still are a significant provider of mental health services, both in an outpatient environment and as well as for those that require inpatient care. In fact, we have contracts with nearly all of the schools in eastern Polk County where we have mental health providers out there in the schools, identifying it early on and treating those conditions. It's very important to our community.
Let me ask you about the community. You're relatively new, I guess, about 2 years when you came over from a hospital in Plant City, about the same time, I guess, when the BayCare merger was taking place here. So you've been here for about 2 years, and I guess you're living here with your family in Winter Haven. How do you like it?
We love it. It was an easy sell. I brought my wife and my son, who's 12, and we took one look around, and Plant City's a wonderful place, but Winter Haven has so much to offer. So, I felt it was important that as a part of the community, you need to live in the community and support the community. So I'm involved in the community. We live in the community just a couple miles from the hospital. There's a lot to do here. It's a lot of exciting growth, as the commissioner mentioned, so we couldn't be more pleased.
Commissioner, you were kind of chuckling when I asked him that question, like, what is he going to say? No, I hate it here, but really, being a part of this is, you hear that from all. He was born and raised here. You weren't, but you're here now. And there's something about this area that's
and it's important that he is here. He's part of the fabric of the community. Sure. And as I've gotten to know Steve, he and his family have integrated themselves into the full Polk County lifestyle. They take advantage of the local things that we take for granted that have always been here. So we're very fortunate. And another thing I want to mention is when you talk about what the hospital provides, the biggest thing we do is heal. And if you can get local service, local quality service, it makes it easier on the family. If you don't have to drive to Tampa to have a procedure, or Orlando or Jacksonville or whatever, but you can still get the same quality, if not better procedure and outcome here in Winter Haven, they're able to sleep in their own bed at night. The family's able to be here a lot easier. So it's the quality push that happened some years ago and that is being continued and really promoted by BayCare is for the whole family and not just the individual patient. It's really impressive what's going on down there.
And with the last closing second we have here, a few seconds actually, I want to remind people again about this facility we're in, the Women's Health Center. In fact, you're going to have an open house at the end of the month. Who really needs this? If a woman says, I'm pregnant, I need to come there, or what about, who else needs to come by and check this place out?
Well, I would invite the entire community. It's a part of our community, and if you're not in childbearing years, still just to see what our community offers. So it's the Winter Haven Women's Hospital. And it's very easy to find, and that open house is on September 26th at 8 a.m.
So September 26th from 8 to 1, you need to be here, and you can come in and check it out, whether you think, I'm going to have a baby, or you're way past having your children, but just to see the good work that's being done here.
Women's surgery, women's imaging, it's not just babies. So,
right.
Yeah, it's women's health.
Women's health, very good. And we hear that a lot in the news these days, and women's health. So here's a great example right here in our community. Well, Steve Nierman, he is the president of the Winter Haven Hospital with BayCare. And of course, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and allowing us to be here, and allowing Commissioner Dantzler as well to I'll reach over and grab your hand. But appreciate you joining us as well.
Absolutely.
And of course, we thank you for joining us as always on every month for another edition of the Commissioner's Report. Until next time, I'm Mike Moore. Take care.
That's my wife.
In this journey, we all have a role. Every life counts on you knowing yours.
That's my dad.
In this journey, we all have a role. Every life counts on you knowing yours.